Imagine a time when crossing oceans by air wasn't just a convenience, it was an extravagance. In the 1950s and 60s, long-haul flights were something only the wealthy could dream of. A round trip from New York to London might have cost more than a small car. Only celebrities, diplomats, and the very rich could enjoy the comfort of air travel across continents. For everyone else, the idea of flying over oceans was simply out of reach, a distant dream viewed only in movies or magazines. But then, something extraordinary happened. A revolution took to the skies, and it came with a distinct hump. Enter the Boeing 747, affectionately known as the Queen of the Skies. This wasn't just a bigger airplane, it was a paradigm shift. With its massive engines, wide-body cabin, and unmistakable humpback design, the 747 didn't just carry passengers, it carried the hopes of millions who wanted to see the world. It redefined air travel, it democratized the sky, and most importantly, it connected humanity like never before. This isn't just a story about metal, engines, and wings. It's a tale of vision, risk, and unbreakable determination. A story about how engineers, dreamers, and airlines came together to change the course of aviation and the world. So fasten your seatbelt, because we're about to explore how the Boeing 747 forever revolutionized air travel. To understand why the Boeing 747 was created, we have to go back to the sky of the 1960s. Air travel was booming, but the technology of the time couldn't keep up with demand. Planes like the Boeing 707 and the Douglas DC-8, both revolutionary in their own right, could only carry about 100 to 200 passengers. Airports were struggling with congestion, and airlines needed an answer to their biggest problem, a way to move more people on fewer planes. That answer came from an unlikely partnership. Pan American Airways, led by the legendary Juan Trippe, envisioned a giant airplane that could handle the rising demands. With his airline dominating international routes, Trippe challenged Boeing to create something no one had dared to attempt before, a plane twice the size of the 707, capable of carrying hundreds of passengers across the globe in one go. Boeing accepted the challenge, but even within their walls, there were skeptics. The task was monumental, and the stakes couldn't have been higher. Boeing bet its reputation and future on this single project. The birth of the Boeing 747 wasn't just about meeting demand. It was a display of audacity, a belief in doing the impossible. The commitment to innovation wasn't just limited to Boeing's engineers. The company even built an entirely new factory in Everett, Washington, just to assemble the massive aircraft. This was the largest building in the world by volume, a fitting home for what would become the largest passenger plane of its time. Creating the Boeing 747 wasn't just a technical challenge. It was an engineering revolution. From its very inception, everything about the aircraft was designed to push boundaries. The most striking feature? That iconic hump at the front of the plane. At first, the hump was a practical decision. It housed the cockpit above the cargo hold. As the 747 was initially designed as a possible freight aircraft, but the hump became a symbol of the plane's grandeur, with the upper deck eventually turned into a luxurious lounge for first-class passengers. Another groundbreaking innovation was its sheer size. The 747 could carry over 400 passengers, more than double the capacity of most existing planes. Its four powerful engines, utilizing high-bypass turbofan technology, allowed it to fly farther with heavy loads while consuming relatively less fuel. This was a major leap in efficiency, and it made long-haul flights over oceans not only possible, but cost-effective. Even the plane's wings were extraordinary. With a span of over 200 feet, they were designed to generate massive amounts of lift, essential for supporting the heavy aircraft during long flights. Their flexibility allowed the plane to handle turbulence more smoothly, improving passenger comfort during what was already a unique travel experience. Human ingenuity went into every detail, from the pressurized cabin that kept passengers comfortable while cruising at 30,000 feet, to cutting-edge safety advancements that made the 747 one of the safest aircraft to fly. With its inaugural flight in 1970, the Boeing 747 redefined what it meant to travel by air. Suddenly, airlines could sell tickets at prices far lower than before, opening the skies to middle-class travelers in ways that were unimaginable a decade prior. Mass air travel was born. Destinations that once seemed unattainable became accessible. People could suddenly take summer vacations to Europe, visit family across oceans, or explore cities they'd only dreamed of seeing. Entire industries, tourism, hospitality, and global trade expanded in response. For passengers flying on a 747, the experience was nothing short of awe-inspiring. Stepping onto the plane felt like walking into a small city. Its double aisles ushered in a new era of efficiency. From economy to first class, there was a sense of grandeur and possibility unmatched by smaller aircraft. And it wasn't just the passengers who were impressed. Pilots loved it too. Commanding a 747 was considered the pinnacle of an aviation career, a badge of honor for the world's most skilled aviators. The Boeing 747 didn't just change how we traveled. It became a symbol of innovation, of progress, and of globalization itself. During its heyday, the plane captured the imagination of filmmakers, musicians, and dreamers. It was featured in blockbuster movies and remained iconic in pop culture for decades. Even non-aviation enthusiasts could recognize its distinctive silhouette. Economically, the 747 catapulted the airline industry into uncharted territory. Airlines raked in profits from its usage while transforming long-haul travel into a major revenue source. Cities once disconnected were now part of an interconnected web of possibilities. The 747 helped shrink the world, expanding the agendas and ambitions of those who flew within it. Like any innovation, the Boeing 747 encountered its fair share of challenges over the years. The oil crises of the 1970s and 80s sent fuel prices soaring, making its four-engine configuration less economically viable in an increasingly cost-conscious world. The competition, too, began catching up. Newer airplanes like the Boeing 777 and the Airbus A380 offered greater fuel efficiency and advanced features, taking some of the shine away from the Queen of the Skies. By the late 2000s and 10s, the aviation landscape had shifted dramatically. Twin-engine jets capable of long-range flights emerged as the new standard, eroding the need for jumbo jets like the 747. Even in a world of sleek, modern planes, the Boeing 747 remains unmatched in its legacy. It wasn't just a plane, it was a force that shaped the trajectory of air travel forever. For the thousands of engineers and workers involved, the 747 was their life's work, an achievement that continues to inspire generations of innovators. For passengers, it sparked a love of flying, of discovering new places, and connecting with the world. And for the aviation industry, it remains a reminder of what happens when ambition meets excellence. Today, as the 747 begins its retirement from commercial fleets, its story lives on. Museums are preserving these aircraft for future generations to admire, while aviation enthusiasts continue to celebrate its remarkable history. The Boeing 747 wasn't just an airplane. It was a revolution. It democratized travel, connected the world, and set a precedent for bold ideas that defy limitations. This is more than just a look back at an incredible machine. It's a testament to the fact that when we dream big and refuse to settle for impossible, great things happen. Thank you for joining us on this trip through the legacy of the 747. Before you go, remember to appreciate every flight you take. It's all part of a remarkable story that the Queen of the Skies helped write. Safe travels.